Have you ever heard a story that sounded simple on the surface, but the more you thought about it, the more it started to unravel into something else entirely, like a riddle wrapped in a narrative? Welcome back to The Ancient Lens, the show where we dust off old texts to find fresh meaning. I'm your host, Alex. Today, we are doing some detective work. We are looking at one of the most famous storytelling devices in history, the parable. Why did scriptural teachers, specifically Jesus of Nazareth, use them? And more importantly, how do we decode them without reading into things that aren't there? So, first things first. What is a parable? In Greek, the word is parable. Literally, it means to cast alongside. Imagine you have a difficult, abstract concept, like grace or the kingdom of heaven. You can't touch those things. So, the teacher casts a simple, earthly story alongside the difficult truth. They sit next to each other, so the simple story illuminates the complex truth. But here is the trick. Parables weren't just illustrations, they were codes. In the first century, speaking openly against religious authorities or the Roman Empire could get you killed. Parables were a way to smuggle revolutionary ideas past the guards of the listener's mind. Let's look at a classic example to see how the decoding works. Let's take the parable of the sower. On the surface, it's a boring farming story. A guy throws seeds, some land on the path, birds eat it, some land on rocks, they die. Some land on thorns, they get choked. Some land on good dirt, they grow. End of story. If you are just listening for entertainment, you walk away thinking, okay, nice farming tip. But let's apply the decoder ring. 1. The seed. In this code, the seed is the message, the truth. Note that the seed never changes. The farmer doesn't change the seed for the rocks or the thorns. The message is constant. To the soil, this is the variable. The soil represents the posture of the human heart. Now, here is the hidden meaning that usually gets missed. In ancient farming, you usually plowed the field before you sowed the seed to make sure the ground was ready. But this sower, he is reckless. He is throwing seed everywhere on the path, in the thorns. The decoding reveals a theological bombshell. The God character in the story is unstingy with the truth. He isn't waiting for you to be perfect before he speaks to you. He is casting the seed knowing full well it might fail, just in case it might grow. When you decode a parable, you have to look for the subversion, the part of the story that doesn't make sense. Why would a shepherd leave 99 sheep to find one? Why would a father run to meet a rebellious son? Why would a Samaritan help a Jew? The hidden meaning is almost always found in the thing that would have shocked the original audience. So, here is your takeaway for the week. Next time you read a parable, stop looking for the moral of the story. Parables aren't Aesop's fables. They aren't telling you to be nice. Instead, ask yourself, where is the twist? Where is the behavior that seems odd, wasteful, or shocking? That is usually where the treasure is buried. That is where the spiritual code unlocks. That's it for this week's episode of The Ancient Lens. If you want to see a diagram of the sewer decoding we talked about today, check the show notes. If you enjoyed this, please leave a review. It helps other decoders find us. Until next time, keep reading between the lines.